Hey guys, welcome to Open Studio. You're watching it right here on Cape Town TV. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambo, and I've got an amazing guest with me in studio. Goes by the name of Lucia. She is a motivational speaker and also a coach, a life coach, basically.
Yes.
All right. So just had to get my facts straight there before we start with the show. So, Lucia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No, I'm glad you came. So, speaking to you earlier on, you mentioned that you're a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Right? You started it quite a while ago, but you went deep into it about 2 years ago.
Yes.
All right. So, just on that, can you tell us a little bit more about your history, about yourself? What inspired you to become a speaker? It's very rare you get females doing this kind of work, but I can see why. So just tell me a little bit more.
Yes, the thing is, I've always been passionate about people. I absolutely love people, and I hate when people get stuck. Now, everybody has that spot where they get compassionate about something. Someone sees a child and they think, oh my word, I want to adopt this child, I want to look after them. Someone sees animals and they say, I want to help animals. But when I see people that are stuck, be it in an abusive relationship, be it in the business or a job that they hate and they want to be in a place where they're actually flourishing, or someone that's just stuck in life. They've been in the same thing, that same complaint for the past 5 years, and they just never get over the situation. I hate it. I want to help people, and I love to help people move out of those places of being stuck. I've been stuck. I hate it. It just drains the life out of you. And so I'm passionate about helping people get their life moving and growing and going.
Wow.
And so it started 10 years ago. I've always been facilitating groups, doing talks, doing all these things over the past 10 years, since I was about 22 years old. The past 3 years, I developed a course called Strategize Your Outstanding Life.
Okay.
And then I started becoming very serious and very intentional about doing this more seriously as a career. It wasn't just, oh, someone asked me to speak here and someone asked me to speak there. Now it became something I really wanted to pour myself into.
Wow. So when did you discover that you actually had this gift of speaking? And, you know, to be a motivational speaker, you have to be influencing. You know, you have to be, what's the word? Convincing, basically.
Yeah.
So when did you discover that you had this talent?
You know what? It wasn't even about a talent for me. When I was, I was a young girl. I was in primary school, and there was this presenter search for ETV. It was Crazy TV, and I was so excited because I really wanted to be a presenter. But I think a lot of young kids did. But I just always knew I wanted to speak, and I thought it was TV presenting, or I thought it was that specific route. And as time went along, you know, when I went to study, I studied public relations, and I did a whole lot of other stuff. But that kind of dream always stayed there. Then I thought, am I supposed to be a pastor? Am I supposed to be? So it was always there, and it was never this clear magic moment. Ding, you know, it doesn't happen like that. It was always just something I wanted to do. And if you want to do anything, you have to work at it. You know, some people are naturally talented, but a lot of people just have to practice. That's the way you do it.
Wow.
So by practicing, by speaking here, speaking there, and you know that rush that you get after you, maybe even when you're presenting, after you've done something, you say, oh, that was a great one. You know, so that rush, I got it every time. I got excited. You get excited and nervous and you do it and you're so happy. So that just kept feeding me, and I chased that excitement of filling my passion and filling my purpose.
Well, I can see how excited you're getting when you speak. Like when you speak about what you love doing, I can actually see, and that's contagious. You know, that is contagious, when you,
100%.
especially when you're speaking to bigger groups. That is contagious. So, how has this journey been like for you over this couple of years, and that you've been working on yourself, bettering yourself to be who you are today? How has that journey been like for you?
I think that all of us face challenges. You face challenges, I do. We all look at each other and we say, oh, your life is perfect. Look at this guy, he's so fit, you know, he doesn't have any problems. You know, so we kind of say that to each other. But here's the thing, everyone goes through challenges. I had a career in public relations. I decided my husband and I were going to start a business. We started a business, we failed dismally, you know, but you kind of want to keep the business going because you don't want to say it failed. So the business fails and we're like, okay, what are we going to do now? Okay, before I go and get a new job, how about we have a baby this year? You know, I'm at home now, let's have a baby, and then after that I'll go back to work. That's the same year we find out my husband has testicular cancer.
Oh, wow.
So we go through that whole episode. We say, okay, we're going to take the year off. Okay, we're just going to relax this whole testicular cancer thing. Let's just get through this. And then next year's the year of the baby. We have a baby, we build a house, we do all these things. And I realized that it's so easy to feel stuck. It's so easy to get family drama. Someone gets sick, someone has a financial problem, you lose a job, you go through all the stuff, you lose a friend, you lose a loved one. You lose people, you lose things, you lose money, and you also lose yourself. And through all of that, I just knew, you know what, there's more to life. And I want to keep finding that because I don't want to live so emotional. If life is up, then I'm up. If life is down, then I'm down. I actually want to keep going up, no matter how life is going, you know? So I really poured as much motivation into myself. I started studying life coaching. I listened to so many people I find motivational, and I just ate it all up until it just oozed out. You know, what you fill yourself up with comes out. If you read the news the whole day and it's all negative, you start talking negative. You complain about everything. But if you fill yourself with positivity, then you start talking positive. So that's how I basically kept it together and kept growing on this trajectory.
Wow. So just before we jump on to the next question, is your husband okay?
He is okay. He is okay.
He's good.
Yeah, it was a big faith journey for us. He had the operation, and it all worked out good. He had a little bit of a chemo, and it was good. But it's been God's grace, and I'm so excited about it.
No,
but,
I'm happy. I'm
yeah,
happy
we're
for
good.
you. I can see like, it feels like you have this life where you are just so bubbly. You're just so happy, and no matter what comes away, like you will handle it. You know, that's some good qualities to have, I must say, and I can see it's reflecting in your face right now. Like that's amazing. Awesome. So in this particular year, 2019, how is 2019 been like for you?
2019 was great. It's been great. It's been great. I've been wanting to get into radio for a few years, and I never quite broke into it. And this year I started the show on Radio Helderberg, the breakfast show. So every morning I'm up past 4. Up and ready. I start the breakfast show with my co-host at 6 in the morning from 6 to 9. So by now it's actually already late afternoon for me, although, you know.
Up so early
yes,
in the morning,
I'm up so early. This has been a long day for me already. And it's been a great year. I started radio. I started a new business this year. Something not to do with the motivational speaking, something just separate, you know. And in South Africa, we must hustle. Well, anywhere in the world, you can't just have one job anymore, you know. You have multiple jobs, you do multiple things. So this has been a great year. And with everything that's happened in the country, you know, you are cautious, you're careful. If you need to get insurance, get insurance. If you need to get medical aid, get medical aid, get security, get what you need to get, but stop freaking out and worrying about stuff, you know. So there are bad things in the country, but there's a lot of good. So I choose to focus on the good, so my year's been good.
Wow. So for those that maybe, you know, cannot help but think negative, and you know, like you said, the media's got a huge influence into this. So what do you have to say for, to those people? How can they change their mindset?
Look, it's what you fill yourself with. As I said earlier, it's what you fill yourself with. If you keep eating negative news, if you keep eating what's wrong with the country and what happened now, and if you fill yourself with that, you'll become scared. You'll become fearful. You'll become worried. You'll actually be stressed. But if you fill yourself with positivity, those good stories, and there are a lot, because South Africa is winning everywhere right now. So fill yourself with all those things, and then you'll start to feel more positive.
There we go. So we're going to take a short break quickly. Then we come back, we're going to continue with our conversation. Awesome. So for those that's watching at home, guys, I urge you to stay tuned in this conversation. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Hey guys, welcome back. You're watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV. I've got Lucia with me in studio. She's a renowned motivational speaker, all right, and also a life coach. So we spoke earlier on with regards to how effective you've been in helping individuals, you know, see a positive side to themselves, which we're gonna dive into a little bit more. We have to dive into it a little bit more. So just quickly, for those that is probably watching, you know, that is stuck somewhere, like you mentioned now. You went through so many challenges, but you've overcome it, and you continue to overcome so many challenges. So for those that are struggling, you know, with that challenge that they probably have right now, how do you think you can overcome your challenge? Does it matter the size of the challenges, or is it just all got to do with the mindset?
Look, I believe if you change your mind, you change your life. Very important. We all go through stuff. But the person who's able to manage their emotions and manage their mind and their thinking is someone who can see their way out of the darkness. Now, if you are stuck in a terrible situation and all you think about is how terrible this is, and I'm so sorry for myself, and why did this happen to me? And then you just stay there and you keep feeling sorry for yourself. But if you start with being grateful, number one, okay, I'm grateful I have a place to stay. I'm grateful I have friends. I'm grateful I have a spouse. I'm grateful I can breathe. I'm not sick. Whatever you have, everyone has different stuff to grasp at. Some people have all the money in the world, but they have no friends. Some people, they have all the money, but they have no talent or skill. Some people have no money, but they have all the talent. So whatever you find yourself with, look at, this is what I've got, and start to be grateful. Once you're grateful, it changes your attitude. It changes your situation, and it changes the way you see life. So from from there, you start to navigate onto your next step. And another thing that I love is to stay in a place where you're learning and growing.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be academics. Some people, music, go learn how to play a new instrument. Some people, it's sport. Get on the sports field, play, run, learn a new sport. But always be in a place when you learn, because if we're not learning and flowing and growing, we feel frustrated.
Yeah, yeah.
Since you were a baby, right?
Yes.
You learned to hold your head up, then you learned to crawl, then to walk, and then you started running, you started speaking, singing, and you were learning. You went to school, you learned sport, you went to varsity, you did all these things.
Wow.
And here you sit in your 20s now, we start to learn less things. And now by about 25, you're kind of done with your studies, now you learn less. And your life slows down, and you start to feel, adulting, frustrated. No, it's because you're not learning anything. Go join a dance club or go join something. And when you start learning again, you feed that thing inside you that likes new stuff. Wow. So be grateful, learn new things, and you'll see how your mind starts to change. And you'll get ideas how to get out of your situation.
Wow. And it all comes with adjusting the mindset.
Yes.
Wow. You change your mind, you change your life. I like that
Yes.
phrase. You change your mind, you change your life. So you're helping individuals find their purpose.
Yes.
Right. So what is your purpose?
For me, it is to help people. And essentially, it's to help people not be stuck, not be in a place where they feel helpless and that they can't do anything. Because here's the thing, everyone is in a place of power and that they can change the world and make an impact. Everyone. It's not just Mandela. It's not just Mother Teresa, everyone. But the thing is, sometimes our circumstances become bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's a shifting where you become bigger than your circumstances. And when you're bigger, then you can move out of situations and circumstances. But if your circumstances are bigger, you're stuck.
Yeah. And how do you determine when you are bigger than your situation, or your situation is bigger than you?
I think if your situation or circumstances always run your entire life and you can't see your way out and you say, I'm stuck here. Whatever the problem is, because of this, I can't. Because there's always a way. You know, some person says, I wanted to do this job, but now I can't. Maybe they're supposed to start their own business and they're still doing the job, but in their own capacity. Maybe for someone else, it's time for them to move and they have to go to the new place, but they're too scared because of whatever problem. So whatever it is, you need to just be in a place where you can think level-headedly. You're not overcome by emotions, so much so that you can't even move.
Yeah.
It's never being stuck, no matter what you are going through.
Wow. Now, speaking about being stuck and also what you've gone through and how you've overcome it, because I'm really inspired with your story, you know, everything that has happened. And now you had to put things on hold to achieve other goals, which somehow relates, and, you know, it's just it all fits in together very perfectly. So for those that are sitting at home right now and they've got these dreams, these goals that they're trying to achieve and it keeps on failing, how do you handle failure?
All right, so there are some things that you need to figure out. Sometimes we hold on to stuff and we must let it go. You know, I had that business, I was so obsessed, I was like, I don't want to let this business die. So I kept working on the business, but the business was dead and the business had to go. So for me, keep using my energy to build something that is not supposed to have my energy is just a waste. So first you have to figure out, this failure, is this a learning curve or is this something that I must let go of? Some things are done, let it go. But if it is just a learning curve, then learn the lesson out of the failure, whatever it may be, and then don't do that again and move forward and grow. And you know what? Most successful people, there are so many. Even if we look at KFC, the Colonel went to so many different people to pitch his chicken and they were not interested. He only started very late in his life where he pitched his chicken and he was successful. I think it's something like 40 years old. I may be mistaken, but it was much later in his life. It wasn't 20 years old when we think everything's just going to work out. So sometimes it takes time. I just read something today. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, was 32 years old and she was living on welfare from the country. That's when she was writing Harry Potter. Now she's one of the richest women that just made her own career. So when failure happens, it doesn't mean you're a failure. And that's what you must separate. You have to say, I failed at this, but I'm not a failure. Is this something I must continue with? Is it something that I must learn from and grow, or I must let go? So when you figure those things out and you learn and you have trials, and then you move forward and you grow every time. So don't put
Wow.
all your eggs in one basket and get so depressed when things don't work out. It's okay.
Yeah.
We all have to practice to be perfect.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned. If something fails, does not make you a failure. That is what people have to understand, because people are so, when you come up with this idea which you think is the best idea and it
Yes.
does not work out, then you think you are the problem.
Yes.
And that cannot be the case. Like you mentioned, it could be something you should learn from there.
100%. And someone once said, you know what? Everyone forgets your failures once you win.
Yes.
Once you make the big successful business, people forget, oh, he tried 25 times and it didn't work. They just know, oh, I know him. I met him at school. Or, they start saying all those things because you win.
Yes.
So once you win, everyone forgets the failures. So don't worry about the failures. Worry about winning and where you want to go and what you want to do.
Yeah, so while you're on that journey,
Yes.
sometimes it's difficult to know whether I'm going to succeed or not. So, okay, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, I just want you to give us your insight as to what you do in that period where you are trying to figure out, am I failing or am I progressing? All right, so for those that's watching at home, guys, if you feel like this conversation is just for you, then do stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV. If you're late, you always time to learn something new. We're almost at the end of a conversation, but like I mentioned earlier on, I've got an amazing guest with me in studio today who goes by the name of Lucia. All right, she's a motivational speaker and also a life coach. So Lucia, just to continue our conversation, even for those that just tuned in now, we were speaking about success and failure.
Yes.
All right, so we just, like I asked you earlier on before the ad break, when we have that period where we've started something and then we're in a journey now, this journey could either lead us to success or could lead us to failure.
Yes.
So how do you determine in that journey, like if this is something I should, stick into or let go before it's too late? Or do you take that risk of going through with it, whether you know it's going to work out or not?
Look, I think there's always that uncertainty when we try anything new.
Yeah.
But just this year I started radio, like I mentioned. Now, one of the things is I was doing traffic.
Okay.
So now I'm doing traffic and I'm saying names of roads that don't exist and I get through this traffic and I say, oh my gosh, this was terrible.
Yeah.
So that was a failure of the traffic report, but I was not failing. It wasn't something I had to give up. It was something I need to grow in it. I need to learn. I need to practice. I need to go home and read through the different streets so that I can get used to reporting traffic.
Yeah.
Now, it's easier to report traffic. Now I do it, but I've grown.
Yeah.
So those failures were growth failures. So you're growing into something. Whereas sometimes we hold on to things that is so kind of pointless. Why are we even doing this? What is the point, We need to really know what's the end goal. With me, I knew I wanted to do radio. I knew that's something I have to master. Even if I'm uncomfortable and nervous, it's something I have to grow in. Why are you doing what you are doing? If there isn't a real why, then it's pointless. Then why are you wasting your time? So you just get fail and you're tired. Is it because, many times people do stuff for money and that is not always a good enough reason? Because yes, we have a job and that's fine, but sometimes they start a business not because they want to solve a problem, but because they want money.
Money, yeah.
And if we're just running after money the whole time, it doesn't work because now we're trying to cut a corner and make a deal and figure it out, and at the end we end up with less than we had in the first place. Sometimes it's just about mastering what you really want to do. And if you do it well, the money will come. And Oprah and all these people say this, and I say, Oprah, what are you talking about? You're rich, you don't get, But the thing is, the more and more I grow and I learn, the more and more I see it's the truth. You need to really like what you're doing and be passionate about it and do it well. And then the money will follow through.
Wow.
So that is some good things to look at when trying to figure out, is this for me? Is it not? Should I hold on? Should I go for it? Check your motives.
Wow, right. So Lucia, speaking on failure, like you made mention now, different ways to have to look at failure. So if we think, psychologically thinking, that word failure could have a negative or positive effect on whoever is receiving it. Could be, like you said, some people can take that failure as a point of learning, and some people can take that failure as a point of giving up. So do you think that the word failure is healthy, so to speak, to use, for anything?
The word failure, it's sometimes such a hard word, right? It's a hard word. But here's the thing. We just need to figure out who we really are and what we really want to do. Because what you think in your heart and in your mind about yourself is who you become. Yeah. And if you take a word like that, failure, and you stick it in there, it will just sabotage your whole entire life. Even though, you know, you want to go in a good direction, you say, actually, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, or whatever. And then once thinking like that, you go in that direction, even though you want better things for your life. There was one lady that came to one of my courses. She hadn't completed school, but she started going to this night school, okay? She wanted to complete a matric. She's already in her 30s, right? She wanted to complete a matric because now her kids are in high school and she wants to show them, hey, look, it's important to finish your school. So she's done this for 3 years. Every year, she gets into this kind of panicky thing and then she fails the subject. Every single year for 3 years. And this year she came to my course and she went through the whole thing, and then she again at June, she had her matric exams and she did the studies and the whole thing. And she sends me a voice note and she says, Lucia, I just want to let you know that I passed.
Oh, wow.
I passed my matric for the first time. I'm so glad you came on my path. What is the thing? In her mind, she kept thinking, I'm a failure, I don't know, I can't do this. But she really wants to do it, so she keeps going back to finish it. But then, when it all comes together, she fails, she panics, she has triggers, she has things that set her off. So some people sabotage themselves. They want success, but then when it all comes together, they don't do the work, or they do something stupid just to make it not work out because they don't think they deserve it. So failure is such a powerful word, and if it is stuck in your head or in your heart about yourself, it is scary, and you have to get that out. You have to flush it out by all means, and look at the triggers that make you feel like that. Sometimes it's someone, a teacher or someone at school said something to you that made you feel like that. Maybe it was a parent, maybe it was someone in your life somewhere that said that word to you, and you heard it and it's stuck in your heart. So it's about flushing that thing out of your head and out of your heart and getting as far away from it as you can, because it's a bad word.
So how does it make you feel to know that you're part of this journey?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's I think that's anyone who's busy with their purpose and fulfilling what they're passionate about feels really good when it works out. When someone says, I want to save children, I want to make a home and I want to take 12 children in and I want to look after them and send them to school. When they get the first child, they're happy. When they get the second child, they're happy. When they see that child go to school, matriculate, they're happy. When they do anything that fulfills their purpose, they are happy. If it is someone that wants to start a business to make jobs for other people and also to provide for their family, they're happy when they see it works out. So of course, anyone whose life I'm part of moving, obviously they do it themselves. I just give some guidance and some structure and maybe some advice where they need it, but essentially they make the decision, and I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to work with people that want to make a difference.
Wow, and I mean, you're currently now speaking as a parent as well as a mother. You know, when you see your kids go through these different stages and these different levels of, you know, being born, going into school, and, you know, so you can actually relate to these other, you know, parents that's going through the same thing. So, about your program, you know, what does it entail, you know? Or just briefly, before we go into an ad break, what can we expect in your program?
Okay, so Strategize Your Outstanding Life is this powerful thing. It's got multiple chapters and we go through it and we work through it. Now what you do is the art of announcing. How to announce yourself to the world, how to announce yourself to yourself. Because some of us are so confused. We're trying to be what our parents said we must be. We're trying to be what people think are cool or what's cool on social media. So we get so lost in all these opinions. So we discuss that. We discuss blockages in your life. What is personally blocking you from moving forward? We discuss what are some things you must protect yourself from, goals, your vision. We set out a map for your future. So we basically cover whole life, lifestyle.
So Lucia, we've come to the end of today's show. So just quickly for those that's watching at home, how can we get a hold of you?
Okay, so people can contact me on social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. My handle is @Lucia Dramat. Lucia Dramat, and then they can also go to my website, luciadramat.com, or they could just send me an email as well. So everything is there, and connect with me. I love connecting with people.
There we go. Just connect with her. All right, guys, we've come to the end of an amazing and awesome chat here with Lucia today. So I thank you so much for tuning in, Lucia. Thank you so much for coming in studio and chatting with us today, guys.
Thank you.
So guys, for now, I'm going to say goodbye till next time from Cape Town TV crew. Bye-bye.